Hello, good evening everybody. Welcome to yet another video on my favourite subject at the moment, William Hill Bookmakers. So I just, as normal, go across to the bottom here to show you the date, today's date. So as you can see, it's coming up to 7:20 on Wednesday the 22nd of April 2026. So this here I'll just shrink for you so you can see. So this is an email I received this afternoon from HM Courts and Tribunal Services Civil Claims. There we go. So gov.uk. Dear Miss Michelle Wills, claim number 016JE252. And this is what it says. Your claim against William Hill Limited, the defendant, was issued on the 22nd of April 2026. The defendant needs to respond before the 20th of May 2026. The defendant can ask for up to an extra 28 days to respond, though will need to agree to a new response date with you. And it's telling him to sign in and all the rest of it. So there it shows you, it proves you that today my claim was issued against William Hill Bookmakers. So here we have a different email. Michelle Wills versus William Hill Limited. And I'm suing for £1,980.68p. William Hill Limited has until the 20th of May 2026 to respond. They can request an extra 28 days if they need it. That isn't going to happen. 28 days. Both parties, so the claimant, me, the defendant, William Hill, have to agree. I will not be agreeing for 28 days. So here we have the claim. Got a case number, and the claim amount is £2,095.68p. That includes the costs of bringing the claim. So reasons for claim. Refusing to pay out winning bets after being banned for failing to supply photo identification such as a passport, driver license or a citizen's card, all of which have never and don't exist. So then a timeline. So this is my actual claim I'm showing you here. So a timeline then. So on the 9th of January 2026, I entered the William Hill betting shop in Bank Street, New Abbott. Shortly after, a member of staff handed me a letter, reference, that letter can be seen in previous videos, dated the 5th of January 2026. The letter explained that William Hill staff would refuse to serve me until I sent one form of identification to customer services. So after speaking to the manager who gave me the letter, we sat down in the shops and discussed what ID I should send. It said one form of identification. So I have a copy of the original letter, William Hill. Notice there it's got a PO Box 170, the retail contact. Courts will not accept PO Box numbers as addresses, so therefore it's a London address. The head office is based in London, a UK office, so that's where it's been sent. So there was a date, the 5th of January 2026, and the reference number of this letter. And I've been through this before, but it says here, before it says identifying documents, we require one form of identification. One form of identification. It doesn't say what, it doesn't say photo ID, it doesn't say driving license, it doesn't say citizen's card, it says one form of identification. The manager and I discussed this and said that, a utility bill, which will have my name and address on. Being transgender, as many of you will know, I supplied my original birth certificate with my former name on it, and I supplied my name changed from what it was to Michelle Lisa Wills, which was dated in, I believe it was June or July of 1997. I enclose those to prove identification. I have a concessionary bus pass. I provided that, which just has a photo on and my name on. And what else did I send? I'm just thinking what else I sent. There was another couple of a copy of my tenancy agreement I sent, and a council tax bill I sent. So they had 5 or 6 forms of identification. We require one form of identification. Some examples of a type of identifications we accept are below. Please do get in touch if you would like some help. Identification documents, even. Passport and proof of address. Now that's not one, is it? That's not one form of identification. Passport and proof of address. That's 2 forms of identification, such as bank statements or utility bill. Now I sent my utility bill. Which was rejected. So I've already done it. Driving license. Now, on speaking to my brother only an hour or so ago, 6 o'clock I rang him. We were out together yesterday, my brother and I, and we had a conversation about this, and he said to me something which I didn't know at the time. That he passed his test, I believe, in 1982. He's my twin brother, we're both 61 years old. And now, his driving license does not have a photograph on it. I didn't know that. It came quite a surprise to me. I thought, that identification, but it had other details, but it's not required, because of the length he's had it, he's not required to have a photo identification on his driving license, because of how long he's had the driving license. The national ID citizen's card and proof of address, such as bank statements or utility bill. So therefore, they're asking for photo ID there, national ID and citizen card, and proof of address, such as a bank statement or utility bill. I sent them a utility bill, did not send them a bank statement. Don't forget, we asked for one form of identification. We require one form of identification. I sent them 5 or 6. So it just shows how corrupt this awful organisation is, William Hill Bookmakers. Now, on the day I was handed the letter, I've just shown you, dated the 5th of the 1st, 2026, asking for ID. In William Hill Bookmakers, they had a box which contained loads of these applications. Citizens Card application, trusted ID since 1999. William Hill 18 plus Citizens Card display the logos of, a minute, just goes up to say at the bottom there, the citizens, logos of the police and blah 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 and all the rest of it, and it's of interest. So looking through the Citizens Card, applicant declaration, I got my name, my address, my surname, house number, standard stuff which I have no problem supplying, no problem whatsoever. I have nothing to hide. And so I can fill them out, my mobile number, postcode, date of birth, everything. But it's asking me to provide one photo, a message place, there, okay, and to sign it, and then it just explains, as it says here, I acknowledge that providing false information is a criminal offence. We won't go into that. I understand that payment covers the cost of processing this application. I'm not buying the card, which remains the property of Citizens Card Limited, and the card may not be lent to or used by anyone other than myself, blah blah blah. This is the part. I enclose 2 colour photos, 45mm times 35mm, one of which is signed by the referee and one of which is attached here. So one of them is attached there. So then the referee. So I need a referee. I need someone basically to give me. I'm sure you know what a referee is. The referee's got to be a minimum age of 25 and must work as listed over leaf. So we'll just pause as I go. So these are examples of a referee. But take this form to a person aged 25 or over in work, contactable at that workplace. They must not be a relative, guardian or carer. They cannot be retired, self-employed or work from home or live with you. They must be a professionally qualified person, for example, accountant, bank, Boon Society official, barrister, broker, chairman, director, chemist, citizens card, staff member, civil servant, permanent councillor, local council, dentist, designated premises supervisor. It goes on and on and on. But if you have a look in this list here, the final list, it's got member of parliament, never met them. It's got solicitor, right? So remember that it's got solicitor as one. And also it's got dentist, and it also has a doctor. I'm trying to find doctor here. Where's the doctor? Dentist. Police officer has got there. I don't know any police officers. I don't know. Most of these people. So let's take a chemist, for example, who knows me well, or dentist. Personal licensee holder. I'm not sure what that means. Whether that's to do with alcohol and pubs, I don't know. Funeral director? No, don't know funeral directors. But going to a doctor. Now, I contacted my doctor's surgery this morning, and I explained to them I was thinking about applying for a citizen's card, and I needed a referee. I'm surprised you didn't ask for 2 linesmen as well. But anyway, yes, they could do that, but in order for a doctor to act as my referee, it would cost me £30. So my doctor wants £30 to provide referee. We've actually got to, we'll go on to what we've got to do, what the purpose of a referee is. So if we have a look down here, so that's £30 it's going to cost me. The chemist I haven't spoken to be fair, but that's the only person I could go to here. A bank Boon Society official. There are no banks. There are no banks that know me because I live in Dawlish. Dawlish used to have a Lloyd's Bank who I bank with. Teignmouth used to have a Lloyd's Bank who I bank with. In recent years, with Lloyd's Bank in Torquay, in Teignmouth, in Dawlish, one in Exeter have all closed. So therefore, it's either Exeter or Plymouth to go to a Lloyd's Bank. And I don't know any of the staff in there because I don't use them. I don't use it in branch. So the bank's out because they don't know me. It's got to be someone who knows you. So, I'm stuck there. So the only thing would be a doctor or perhaps a chemist. So the referee must complete the reference declaration and countersign 1 photo. So that's the other photo. They've got to sign the back of it, I imagine. You must show the referee one of the following original photographic ID documents: passport, EU national identity card, Home Office ID, UK or EU photo driving licence, card containing pass, photogram, UKBA biometric resident permit. If the referee knows you personally, you can show one of the following documents instead: original or certified copy of birth certificate, NHS medical card. Take this form together with one of the above original documents plus a photocopy of that document to the referee, who will need to countersign this form. One photo and the photocopy of the document. Additionally, if you changed your name since birth, please show the original marriage certificate or change of name deeds to your referee and ask them to countersign the photocopies and then send them to us together with the above. So I've got to send, do all this, pay £30 for a doctor for doing this. Notice the referee. Check you are working in one of the occupations listed above. You must be willing and able to tick all boxes. Complete the referee declaration in full, stamped form if available. So that'll be a surgery stamp in case of a doctor. Check the details of applications with a photographic ID, which must be one of the following. Again, I don't have photo ID. If you know the applicant personally, your original document can be one of the following: original or certified copy of birth certificate, which I have, or NHS medical card, which I don't have. Write on a photocopy of document: I certify that I have seen the original of a copy and that it matches the name and date of birth of the application form, adding your full name underneath, your signature, and the dates for the doctor. Write on the reserve of the photo: I clarify that it's a true likeness of me, in this case, and add your full name underneath, your signature, and the date. Citizen's card will phone you at your workplace to verify the information supplied. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. But there is another section, section 2 here. Referee checks detail match official records. Take this form, so that's me obviously, to a person aged 25 or older, in work, contactable in my workplace, and must not be a relative, guardian or carer. They cannot be retired, self-employed, or work from home. They must also be one of the following: your teacher, tutor, head of year, administrator of school, college, university, your doctor, so there's a doctor, nurse, dentist, social worker, certified solicitor, a bank building society staff member at your branch, your job centre DWP advisor. The referee must complete, and then it just goes on to the same. So the important thing there is, it mentioned the doctor. As I say, the only possible I could go to is a doctor, or it doesn't say chemist there, does it? I didn't read chemist there. That's the simpler form. But again, the doctor is going to charge me £30. Now, in addition to charging me £30, so I'll just deviate away from that. So now we're back on my court claim. In addition to me paying the doctor £30 for the privilege of him filling out his part of a citizen's card, I have to then go and get my photo taken, or I think it's a minimum of 4 photos, which I checked today is £12. So I've got to spend £12, so that's £42 I've got to spend, and therefore, in addition to that, the citizen's card is, and I thought, to be honest, it was quite cheap. I expected it to be around 40-50 quid. It's £15, or £30 if you want it ASAP, in a few days. So therefore, I've got to spend £30 for a doctor, £12 for the photos, and £15. So £57 I've got to pay for the privilege of cashing out bets at William Hill Bookmakers. It's outstanding, it's outrageous, it's ridiculous. and it's one thing I will never ever do over my dead body. So therefore, we were down back to this list. We were down to the 13th of January. I received an email saying my documents I had rejected, and now I had to provide a copy of my passport, driving license, or citizen's card documents that don't exist. So I'll just scroll that up a bit. The lights, I don't know, I'm no expert, but it seems to fade, and then I raised a formal complaint to William Hill. This is on the 13th of January 2026. This is via email, stating that I cannot provide documents that don't exist. They explained that it could take up to 8 weeks before a final response is given to my complaint. I'd like to add that was on the 13th of January, and they responded within, I believe, 2 days. Every time I sent an email, it would be 2 days before I received a response, which is not a problem for me. I'm not complaining about that. So I would have received an email on or around the 15th of January. Normally, instantly you get a email confirmation that we've received your email, which I did. So I haven't received by email. 8 weeks. So today, as I showed you earlier, beginning of this video, is the 22nd of April 2026. I'm still waiting for a response. And this was in January. What, 14 weeks? We've gone through, half of January, all of February, all of March, and half of April. Nothing. So on the 9th of April, so me waiting, hearing nothing, I telephoned William Hill Customer Services to inquire the value of an in-running football bet. I was informed the cash-out value of a bet was £518.90. I declined this offer. Yes, I have gone through that bet in detail in a previous video, which you can see, and it was basically Worthing to win the National League South, a £100 single at 5-2, and York City to win the National League, who were at 7 for £100, and a £50 double on the pair. So I declined that offer. On the 12th of April, following the latest round of football matches, so that was the previous day, the 11th of April, so this is on the Sunday, the 12th. Following the latest round of football matches, I checked on the William Hill website, so online William Hill website, the latest odds of the teams involved in my bet, so Worthing and York. One of the team's odds remained unchanged, that was York. They were 1-4, whilst the other team's odds shortened dramatically from 10-11 to 1-6, that was Worthing. So therefore, the following day, I tried several times on the 12th, the Sunday, 4 or 5 times to get through to customer services, both during the day and around 8 p.m. at night, and couldn't get through, despite them advertising it being a 24-hour service. It just said, we're busy, please ring back later, so it said basically. So therefore, the following day, on Monday the 13th of April, I telephoned William Hill Customer Services at 9:24 a.m. to inquire if a cash-out value of a bet had changed. Don't forget, Worthing had gone from 10-11 to 1-6 to win the National League South. After waiting several minutes, the customer service advisor advised me the value of the bet was now £754.38. I therefore decided to cash out the bet. At 3:54 p.m, which is on the 13th of April, I received an email from William Hill advising to return to a William Hill shop as soon as possible to collect my winnings. So I'm going to try and find that email. So here we have the email. I found it, and as you can probably see closer there, you can see this is dated Monday, April the 13th, 2026 at 3:54 p.m. This is from William Hill, and it says the following. Thanks for contacting William Hill. Please be advised that we're unable to process cash out as it needs to be done via Plus card in our machine. That is if you go into William Hill High Street shop, you've got the Fobties where you play the fruit machine type games, roulette and all the rest of it, and you've got the sports betting terminals. It was one of those. I had to cash it in there. The Plus card, when William Hill banned me on that letter on the 5th of May, what actually happened was, on the Friday I placed a number of football bets, totaling around £300. On the Saturday afternoon, because quite often I do correct scores. That's my favourite bet. I like doing in football, and quite sometimes you may get a match where say you've done a team to win 2-1, a 2-1 up with 20 minutes to go, and you've got £25 win. That's normally my stake per each match. You've got the win 2 and 20 minutes to go, and the bets say it's 7-1, so £200 potential returns, and they're offering you £100 or £120 with 20 minutes to go, and the opposition have a player sent off. So therefore you've got to think, well, that's a big advantage now to the team you've backed, and therefore the option I would normally cash out a bet like that. Several times I've been successful, a few times I haven't. I've been successful more times than not in doing that. So I can't use a card because they blocked it, they cancelled it. So it then says in this email of Monday, April the 13th, if you can return to our shop as soon as possible, shop colleague will be able to assist you to cash out your bet. Now, when I went into the shop, I didn't have a shop, and a male assistant this time, not the manager, I met, and I showed him this very email. He went to check it. There was nothing showing, no returns, no cash out value. I wanted to cash out, but there was no cash out value. And he then went to one of the machines, and again it showed that it was no cash out value. And yet only earlier that day, I was told the cash out value was 754.38, I believe it was. I went to cash it out. This happened on a Tuesday, so this email was on a Monday. It happened on a Tuesday, and I did take a recording of the end of that, which is again covered in a previous video of mine on this channel, which you can listen to, explaining that exactly. That they couldn't. There was no value. So as it says in the email, the fantastic shop colleague, he rang 1144, quoting the reference number. There we go. And it says, and one of the team will be able to assist. Kind regards, retail contact, William Hill. So after several minutes of being on the phone and being on hold, and obviously serving other customers, not many, only 1 or 2 people came in, it's a small shop, he got a response for 1144. They asked me several times, did I want to cash out my bet? Was I sure? I said yes. The reason why, and I explained it in another video, but in case you haven't watched it, I'll explain it again, was that Worthing, I think, will win the National League South, but Rochdale and York are neck and neck. I believe Rochdale got about 106 points and York got 108 points, something like that. Something ridiculous, way over 100 points. But we've got 2 points in it. And of course, Sod's Law being what it is, the last match of the season, Rochdale are home to York. If Rochdale beat York, then I will lose over £500. So the reason I cashed out was I had the process in cashing out of losing a potential £350, or losing a potential £750 because the actual cash out, the actual bet, had both teams been successful, which they may well be, we'll find out on Saturday, would be just over £1,100, and I show the bet. So that is pure, and they said no, we cannot cash out your bet because you need to provide photo ID. So they're taking the piss out of me, making me run around in circles. So that's why I decided court action was the only appropriate solution to this ridiculous fiasco from these charlatans. So going back to the particulars of my claim, a court claim, there we go. It just confirms, a telephone on the 13th of April, Monday or a Tuesday. Was it Monday or a Tuesday? I forget. Probably Monday, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, because obviously it was Monday. Yeah. 9:24 and 754.38. I was told. You can hear that recording, as I say on a previous video. It lasts about 33 seconds. Not very long. And on the 13th of April, that email that I've just shown you. And then when I go on my shop the following day, the 14th of April, basically they're gone back to square one. They want photo ID. So that is the reason I have submitted this court claim against William Hill Bookmakers. So just concluding this email, this court document. So receipts, I have all the betting receipts. Others, I have numerous emails, both received and sent. Other, I have an audio recording of the end of a telephone call from William Hill. So that is obviously recording telling me that my cashing in my in-running bet, which during this call on the 14th of April when I was in the shop when the gentleman rang the number 1144, he was told to show ID. I played him a recording of the offer, the cash out value of £754.38. And at this stage, to be fair to William Hill, they did say they will honour that, but would not pay me it. So if they say, again, I don't trust these charlatans, they say they will honour that. Again, it's my word against the shop, against their word. The problem I have is the William Hill shop are closing on the 24th of May. This is going to drag out, and obviously he'll move on. I don't know where he'll move on to. He's been made redundant after 21 years. So therefore it's their word against my word, basically, although I do have that recording. So that is my legal claim, which has been issued today, the 22nd, Wednesday the 22nd of April 2026. And I'll keep you updated. As I say, they have 28 days to respond to my claim. So as always, thank you very much for watching this video. There's a lot more. Things are moving fast for William Hill. And I plan to make another video. I know I seem to be making lots of videos. I try to keep them short, no longer. This is 33 minutes, so thus far. So I don't bore you to tears. Hence the number of videos, rather than have an hour-long video and halfway through you get bored, because I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not a vocalist, to give commentary on all this. It's just one nobody, just trying to get fairness, and just trying to put a message across to warn people, of the risks that these so-called bookmakers, are. But all of them at it, as I say, not just William Hill. This example's what's affected me. Others in the past have. When you win big, they don't like to pay out. And my next video will be about that. Some examples of William Hill refusing to pay out bets, and when large, particularly large bets. But that's for another video. And please feel free to leave any comments in the comment section down below. And thank you very much for watching this video.